Welcome to the Two Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James, and it's part two of Snowed In. Yesterday, when I was filming, it started sleeting, and I thought it was just going to end there, but no, it ended up snowing about a foot of snow, and I'm snowed in. I can't go anywhere, so I thought I'd do another installment of being snowed in, but this time I kind of want to talk about something that's really kind of personal. Not really in that kind of sense, but like what really kind of makes me want to be a filmmaker, and I haven't really kind of gone into that in detail, and that's where I'm going to kind of go into detail right now, and it has to pertain to trauma. Trauma, it's not the reason why I want to be a filmmaker, but it shows that I can be a filmmaker. That's what I liked about Troma, because it proves that I could be a filmmaker if I just have the right kind of just what I needed to get everything set in line, and that's what I liked about Troma, and that's what I want to talk about. I have three different kind of things I want to talk about, and well, two are kind of the same thing, but they're on two different kind of movies. You got I'm talking about the documentary and the behind the scenes aspect of making a trauma film, and that's what I like about Toxic Avenger Citizen Toxic 4. I actually bought this at my local used video store, and I made the mistake of being the rated R cut, but it still had a nice silver lining that it came with a 95-minute documentary. The Apocalypse Soon, and I loved it. I loved this documentary 110%. I love the making of this movie. It's probably one of my favorite making ofs, just because of how awesome. Just kind of watching them kind of make the special effects and using them. And there's even a scene where they had a M60 machine gun, the type Rambo uses, and it's just constantly getting jammed, and the dude is just stiffing him on the money, and or something along the lines of that. And I'm like, that dude shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have had paid. I don't know if they did or not, but they shouldn't have paid for that time when he was like, I'm an expert, and to me he didn't seem like an expert. So then the next one is Poltergeist. This is one of my favorite DVD collections, because it has the documentary footage, and I actually bought this I found this by accident, because when I was cruising Best Buy when it first came out, and I was like, and as soon as my eyes laid on it, it was a purchase, and I'm kind of glad I bought it, because I had fun watching it, and I showed it to all my friends, and a few of them bought it, but what I liked about this collection is because it has a documentary, about making it, and I loved the documentary. And I actually have their book, Make Your Own Damn Movie. I want the other one, Things I Learned from Toxic Avenger or something like that, and I really want that book too. I might have to do a nice reread of this one, just because I liked that book so much. But back to kind of what this whole aspect means to me is, like I said, it shows to me that I can be a filmmaker, and I respect Troma 110% of their independent abilities, and I loved it. And I understand, from what I understand, that Poltergeist was Lloyd and his wife's life savings, and they put it on 35 millimeter camera, and it looks, and you can tell they kind of put some serious money in this one. I think it costs like don't quote me, I think it like 400,000 plus. So it's like, I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot in this movie, and that's what they got for that. That's pretty good. And just coming from someone who had barely spends $1 on their movie making, so and I usually just use stuff around the house for my movies. But I mean, that's just amazing, and the book is just amazing. I love it's well written. It has some accounts from people who's worked with Lloyd Kaufman, And I can't get enough of these kind of stuff when it comes to Troma. I mean, their movies are good, and they're not for everybody. I mean, they are far from a movie for everybody. I mean, they are bloody, they're gory, they're raunchy. They have scenes in there that I was kind of embarrassed to watch, um, but after rewatching about 100 times, it kind of starts to kind of desensitize you, and that doesn't bother me when it comes to Troma movies, and when because I need to have that kind of movie aspect in my life, because um, I'm not. I like to have that aspect of dirtiness in my film collection, because if everything is so crisp and clean, how can you tell when something is good? I need to. I mean, I'm not saying Troma isn't good. I'm just saying that you need to have that down and dirty filmmaking, and that's what I like about Troma is that they're just down and dirty, and they make good movies. And I don't watch Troma all the time. I have to have some time pass as I watch these movies. Not because just because I need to. I don't want to desensitize myself to these movies. I want to be shocked. I want to be grossed out. And I kind of want to be like, oh, how did they get the actress to do that, or the actor to agree to say this? I mean, I like to be shocked and awe when it comes to Troma movies, and that's why I'm excited to watch Return to Nukem High. I think that's what it's being called, and I'm looking forward to that movie quite a bit, because I've not seen a Troma movie in at least a couple years, and I mean, I've kind of watched Toxic Avenger clips here and there, but I've not actually sat down and watched a Troma movie from start to beginning, and I'm kind of holding off till Return to Nukem High. And back to the book, it actually tells you how to make your own damn movie, and I'm reading it, and I mean, I've read it before, and I think I might need to reread it to kind of get me back into making my own movies again, because I've been focused on the two-ton nerds aspect of kind of sitting down and talking, when I should be sitting down and writing and putting my own words into script form, and I haven't done that in a long time. So that's I don't know what else to say, but I'm so grateful for Troma and this aspect of showing me that I can be a filmmaker, because I like watching behind the scenes footage of this kind of stuff, and reading about it. I cannot believe they are 40 years strong. I do believe that's or 35 or something like that. Between 35 and 40 years strong of movie making. I mean, it's amazing, of independent filmmaking, and they have hundreds of movies underneath their belt. And I mean, there's a few movies I don't like. I will admit, there's a few Troma movies that I do not like. I did not like Troma's War. I didn't Romeo and Juliet. It's give and take. Sometimes I will get into it, and sometimes I just won't get into it. But I liked what they did with the whole Shakespeare kind of aspect. I loved that, and this is a great just something that I can strive to. And I don't want to make gory movies, and I don't want to make raunchy movies. That's just not how my filmmaking works. But it's a nice insight to showing that there are people out there that make movies for under $1 million and still have some great movies that come out, and Troma is the best. And so that's really all I gotta say. Lloyd Kaufman, he's a genius, and just because of the documentaries, I will praise the movies themselves all day long, but I will give even higher praise to the documentaries and the behind the scenes footage even more, just because that's just how my mind works, and I'm more into tuned to how things work behind the scenes footage of a movie. So I'm snowed in, so expect another edition tomorrow. My name is Max James, and I'm going to go geek out.